Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinga.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ, where we help you lead with purpose and succeed with impact. If you're ready to grow into the kind of leader others want to follow, this podcast is for you. If you're determined to elevate your success and leave a lasting legacy, this podcast is for you. As my mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell reminds us, everything rises and falls on leadership. Our goal is simple: to inspire you, challenge you, and equip you with insights that can transform the trajectory of your leadership journey. Welcome aboard to another episode of the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another powerful episode of the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ. I'm your host assistant, Coach BZAI. I assist Commander Bob Fabian BZ Zinga, Cybersecurity Executive, U.S. Navy Information Warfare Commander, and passionate advocate for developing the next generation of military and corporate leaders. Today, it is my distinct honor to introduce an exceptional leader, mentor, and culture builder, 1st Sergeant Kenitra Scott of the United States Army. With more than 2 decades of military service, 1st Sergeant Scott currently serves as a senior enlisted advisor in Army medical recruiting, where she leads geographically dispersed teams, develops soldiers, and drives mission readiness across multiple states. Her career spans operational assignments, recruiting leadership, and talent acquisition strategy, where she has built a reputation for developing high-performing teams and strengthening organizational effectiveness. But her leadership impact doesn't stop at the military formation. She is also the founder and CEO of Legacy Vanguard Scott Group, a leadership consulting and executive coaching firm focused on empowering leaders, elevating talent, and transforming workplace culture. Through executive coaching and leadership operating systems, she helps organizations improve decision-making, accountability, and execution, turning leadership potential into measurable performance. What makes 1st Sergeant Scott's story so powerful is her unwavering commitment to servant leadership. She lives by the philosophy that when leaders take care of their people, the mission will take care of itself, a principle that resonates deeply across both military and corporate environments. In today's conversation, we'll explore her leadership journey, lessons from the 1st Sergeant seat, talent development strategies, and how she's scaling her impact through coaching and entrepreneurship. So whether you're a naval junior officer aspiring to command one day, or a corporate professional preparing to step into leadership, this conversation is packed with insight you won't want to miss. Please join me in welcoming an incredible leader and our friend, 1st Sergeant Kenitra Scott. Let's dive in.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Coach BZAI. So that was my AI twin. We are really glad to be here. We have a tremendous leader in the green room right now. So before we get started, I would like to remind everyone, please let us know where you are joining us from, like what city, what state, and if outside of the US, which country, and also what you are grateful for today. For a moment of gratitude, as you know, this entire month, I am really grateful for Black History Month. I highly recommend this book, African American First. This is a book about famous, little known, and unsung triumphs of Blacks in America. I really do believe that Black Americans have built this country, and they deserve to be celebrated for all of the accomplishment and contribution, what we've done to really help America be what it is today. So also, if you do have a question for the 1st Sergeant, please type it in the comment, and we're going to try to answer all of your questions live. So without any further ado, let me see if I can properly introduce our guest today. So we are going to be speaking, as you have heard. This is really my distinct honor to welcome her. She's an exceptional senior enlisted leader, executive coach, and talent strategist, First Sergeant Kenitra Scott. She has more than 20 years of service in the U.S. Army. So, First Sergeant Scott serves as a senior enlisted advisor in Army medical recruiting, leading geographically dispersed teams, shaping talent pipeline, and ensuring mission readiness across multiple states. Beyond the uniform, she is also the founder and CEO of Legacy Vanguard Scott Group, a leadership consulting and executive coaching firm focused on executive coaching, leadership development, organizational culture, and decision and execution system. I really love her philosophy. It's very, very simple and powerful. When you take care of people, the mission will take care of itself. So, without any further ado, please help me welcome to the Leadership and Success podcast the one and only First Sergeant Kenitra Scott.
Hello, thank
Hello,
you.
good afternoon. How are you doing today, First Sergeant?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's a great honor and pleasure. Maybe to get started, is there one thing you are grateful for today?
I am grateful to God for waking me up this morning, letting me see another day.
Yes.
But I am coming up to 20 years now in the Army. So
Wow.
I am just thankful for making it this far.
Yes. Man, I love 20 years in any branch of the military. That's when you feel like you don't have to take any more baloney from anybody. You can just drop your paper whenever you feel like it. So that's wonderful. Congratulations. Wow. And is there something about you, First Sergeant, that most people may not know when they first meet you?
Um, I have a twin sister.
Really? Wow.
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. All right. So, if you could take us back to the beginning, what inspired you to join the U.S. Army, and how did growing up in a military family kind of shape your leadership identity?
So, having, parents who were both had the military, they both were Army
Wow.
background. I kind of knew where I was going to end up, but they were very, I won't say strict, but very adamant about the importance of education and,
Yes.
excellence. Nothing less was accepted. And so seeing their example and they were successful, I
Mhm.
saw that as an opportunity, the U.S. Army, to use it as an opportunity, a stepping stone for me to join. So my purpose initially was to join for educational benefits.
Mm.
But once I, you know, got my master's and completed
Wow.
my education, I stayed for the development because I like to tell people that I grew up as a leader in the Army.
Mhm.
A lot of my leadership traits and my philosophies was developed coming up in the Army.
Wow. That is really, really powerful. So, I'm assuming once you got your degree, did you have an opportunity to become an officer if you wanted to? And if you did, why did you decide to remain enlisted?
Yeah, so I decided to remain enlisted because my goal is to one day be a command sergeant major. So that was the goal at the time. Right now, I'm in a transitioning period, so I'm kind of on the fence right now about what the future holds as
Mhm.
far as the Army and my career. Um, but yes,
Wow. That is really, really powerful. And I know some people believe everyone who has an opportunity should become an officer, but I really think it's not for everybody. And there are definitely
right.
some people in the military who deserve to be E7, E8, E9. In the Navy, we call them chief, it's the chief mess. And in my opinion, they run the entire Navy. All senior officers like me do is just take credit for all of their hard work. Without them, our Navy is completely yeah, it wouldn't have much value at all, because they mentor all of the senior enlisted and then junior officers too. So we definitely need a strong chief or sergeant, I guess, in the army, in the military. So thank you so much
Yes,
for your service. And I believe you started as an information technology specialist,
yes.
which it was my rate when I was enlisted. How does the technical foundation kind of influence the leader you became?
So, so initially when I came in, I went into IT because I didn't know what I wanted, what direction I wanted to go into. I was 17 when I enlisted, so I wasn't sure. That seemed like the safe route. So that's the way that I went with that. But then I came to find that I wasn't really interested in the IT. So so I started searching for other opportunities. So the great thing about the Army is, there's always other, opportunities and MOSs that you can change into. So I looked into drill sergeant and recruiting.
Wow.
So it brought me to recruiting. So then I came to recruiting and, I loved it. I loved the interaction, being
Yes.
around people, being able to influence young women who look like myself,
Mhm.
being able to impact them, to go out to the high schools, to be in the community. I fell in love with it, and I was like, this is what I want to do. So I decided to
Awesome.
stay. So
So- Wow. So were you a drill sergeant at boot camp also?
no, so I didn't become a drill sergeant. The Army decided that I was better fit as a recruiter.
Very
So
good. Very good.
they kind of chose for me, but it was the right choice. Yeah.
Yeah, because for me it was 21 years ago. I was at RTC, Great Mistake. I mean, Great Lakes, and I still remember my sergeant, black woman, Chief Dyer. She must be retired by now because that was 21 years ago. But she completely changed my life. I was like, wow, when I grow up, I want to be just like her. So it was like either I become a chief or I become a commander. It just happened I had an opportunity to get command in the Navy. But it's really amazing the work they do at boot camp where you are
Yeah.
completely a civilian, you know nothing about the military, and
Right.
then they
Right.
pretty much transform you into a sailor or a soldier or whatever your country needs. It's just mind boggling the leadership lessons you learn. It's incredible, even
It
at the
is.
lowest rank. Like I say, I joined in as a seaman recruit E1, and by the time boot camp was over, they promoted me to seaman E3. But man, that was time I will never forget. Do you remember your time at boot camp? What was that like?
Yeah, yes, I do. I really had a good time. I enjoyed it. It
A
was
good time. What about the first 2 or 3 days? Good time too?
um it
Because I
was
hated every minute
it
of
was
it at first. It was
interesting.
a good time
I
afterward, but not at the beginning.
yes. It was definitely it was interesting, but it was an experience. I'll say that. It was an
Okay.
experience.
Because I remember
Um
for me, first they shaved me, they got rid of all of my beautiful long hair, and then they gave me all of this, standard uniform, and we started walking all over the place. I think the first night I probably only slept 1 or 2 hours. I mean, they kept us awake, marching all night. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? But anyway, toward the end, it was very nice. But at the beginning, I hated every minute of it.
so I had parents who kind of they gave me they told me about their experiences. I
Yeah.
would say my parents were like my first recruiters because they told me about their experiences and they made it sound fun,
Mm,
basic training. And, so I went in with that perspective. And
yes.
so, and also with the perspective that I can't quit.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm not going home. So, with that perspective and keeping that in my head, like I was
Yes.
determined to make it through
Wow.
regardless.
That's amazing. And you mentioned your parents. What leadership lessons did you learn growing up in a army family?
Um,
And also, I think one thing
that
most people
failure is not an
don't
option.
understand also is right when even my wife and my kids, they didn't join the Navy, but they've definitely served because everywhere I go and all of the time I've missed and stuff, so they've been affected for sure. How was it like being a army brat growing up?
um, it was interesting. No, it was fun moving around and meeting new people.
Yeah.
I would say it probably got hard once I got to high school and started
Hmm.
really, not wanting to leave my friends and have
Yes.
start all over again. But um, it was beneficial because it kind of gave me a lens of what it would be like to be in the Army. Now I have a
Mm.
daughter who's also an
Yes.
Army brat, so
Yeah.
I kind of know what she's going through a little bit, and so
Yeah.
but it was definitely, I feel fortunate to be able
Yes.
to do that, and so that's kind of how I
Mm.
um communicated to my daughter, like she's fortunate, all the places she's
Yes.
been since a baby. She's only 8 and
Yes.
she's been to I don't know how many states, so she's well traveled for an 8-year
Yes.
old.
Absolutely. Wow. That is quite amazing. So when was there maybe like a defining moment early in your career when you realize I am not just here to do a job, but I am here to lead people as well?
I think that came a few years later after me coming into the recruiting command,
Hmm.
because unfortunately, I experienced ineffective leaders and
Yes.
effective leaders. And
Hmm.
so I got to see what that looked like, and I got to experience how I was fortunate enough to have good leaders, so I know
Yes.
what it feels like to have good leaders and how it affected me, how I grew under those good leaders and what
Hmm.
that looked like. And so I also experienced the other side of that too.
Yes.
um but it brought this passion in me because, I wanted to do better.
Yes.
And heard the quote of be the change you want to see.
Hmm.
So I always think about that, and it's like, okay, be the change you want to see. So, and that means that, if I want something to be better, maybe I need to be the one to,
Yes.
step into the role and get a seat at these tables and,
Hmm.
speak up. So,
Yes.
I put that on myself, and then, I always believe that God puts me where I'm supposed to be.
Yes.
Nothing is by mistake. So my thing is, if he brings me to it, he'll bring me through it. He'll put me through it.
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
get through it. So nothing is a coincidence. So I think that's when I, believe, like, okay, I was put in this position for a reason,
Hmm.
and I need to take advantage of it, basically.
Wow. What do you believe, First Sergeant, is the number one characteristics that differentiate good leaders from not so good leaders? And again, from my own experience, yeah, I've had a few ineffective leaders, but very, very few. The great majority, I would say 99% of people who've led me throughout my entire Navy career, they've been really, really good. People you really wanted to follow into the heat of battle. But sometimes we do get a few bad apples. I don't know how that's possible,
Right.
but they do hang out sometimes. What do you think is the main difference between the two?
Um, I think self-awareness
Yes.
and understanding, I would say, an emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Just having the ability to look at yourself as a leader and always reflect on, what you do, how you communicate, how you
Yes.
lead. And also having mentors and
Mm-hmm.
those who you can consult with, because we don't always get it right.
Yes.
And we're not always right. So that's one thing. And then the emotional intelligence part, understanding those who you lead and being sensitive to their needs, and just caring about people, because at the end of the day, we're
Mm.
people. We have families, and you know,
Yes.
people come to an organization and they want to be there. So I think
Yes.
it's important to value those who you lead.
Mm. That's really powerful. I know when I had the privilege and great honor of being a commanding officer in the Navy, one of my leadership mantra was mission first, because I do have to accomplish a mission. That's why I was selected for the job, but people always. And we have a member of our community, Daniel Young. He says, First Sergeant, presence is the ultimate reminder that discipline is the foundation of safe haven. When you take care of people, the mission will take care of itself. Yeah, that's one of the great mentorship I got when I called out all of my mentors. Hey, what do I do as a commanding officer? What do I need to really focus on? Is not just take care of your people. Everything else will take care of itself. And I know you do say that a lot. And more than likely, the Navy stole that from the Army. But anyway, can you tell us more about your philosophy and why it is so critical to really truly care for your people?
Because I see what I've seen what happens when we don't, and
Mhm.
it's a trickle down effect, like it's a domino effect. So when
Yes.
you have personnel who are not taken care of, then when they come to work, they're not going to be focused, they're going to be distracted, you're not going to get their
Yes.
best self. um
Mm.
so I truly believe that. I've experienced it myself.
Yes.
So knowing that, so if we take care of that part, then and our subordinates know that we're going to take care of them, and that we care about their needs and their families, and that is a priority, then I feel like they're more inclined to come to work, to want to
Yes.
work. They're happy about the organization, and
Mm.
they feel taken care of.
Wow. And earlier you mentioned some effective leaders and mentors who've pretty much helped you become a first sergeant in the most powerful army the world has ever seen. If I could ask, who were some of those leaders and mentors who really saw leadership potential in you before you saw it in yourself?
So I've had a lot of mentors in my 20 years. Um, but one that stands out to me is my first supervisor,
Mm.
when I was at Fort Bragg, and I was a private, and I was hard headed, and I didn't want to listen. Could nobody tell me nothing. But
Then you
he
should have
saw
been a commander.
he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. Like, he believed in
Yes.
me. He pushed me. He motivated me.
Wow.
And he just cultivated that in me, that I can be more. He would always tell me, like, I can see you being a sergeant major one day.
Yes.
I
Wow.
didn't see that, but he saw it. And just him having that belief in me, I began to have that belief in me.
Yes.
And that's what pushed me and motivated me. And then as I continued to grow, I always made sure that I had mentor. I'm very intentional about having people around me who know
Mhm.
more than me, who know more
Yes.
than me, who are where I want to be,
Mhm.
or have gone where I want to go, so that I can always, consult with them and ask them
Yes.
questions, and, like, how should I handle this situation? Like, you've been there.
Mm.
I've been fortunate also to have great officers. Um, it's been a blessing.
Yes.
Have great officers that I've been able to work with, who have I've been able to, like, just soak up all the things, from being around them, to being in their presence, and just how they carry themselves, like what
Mhm.
they learn. Um, because enlisted and officers, we have a very different upbringing.
Yes.
But I've learned to, to not see it as a threat or to be intimidated by it, but to use it as an opportunity to learn and grow as a leader myself. Um,
Mm. That is really, really powerful. And I guess another follow-up question I had. So now that you are serving as a first sergeant in the U.S. Army, it's really one of the most consequential enlisted leadership role in the Army. How do you define the responsibility of being the heartbeat of the formation?
um, I set the tone, and I enforce the standards. I'm the senior enlisted advisor for the company, so I
Hmm.
wear many hats. I have to, I'm the advisor for the commander. So um it's yeah, so I'm pulled in all different directions, but I find a way to manage it, and to make
Mm.
sure that I communicate with my commander, and that she understands, um what is going on and what she needs from me. I make sure that I give her
Yes.
what she needs from me, and that I'm also training and developing, the soldiers that are under me.
Wow. And also, by the way, who is your commander right now?
So my commander is Captain Tracy.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
Major Select, right? I believe she's going to be
Yes,
putting it
yes,
on
yes. She will be
soon.
getting promoted soon. Yes.
That is really amazing. And for those who follow the podcast, she was here, I think it was season 4, episode 135. So you can go back and listen to it. But it's just such a small world. And I really love it when it all comes together, right? And just the hard work that you do for, again, really the most powerful army in the world. We've never seen any army quite uh, like it. And just as a flashback, so season 4, episode 134. All right. So another question I have. Hold on. Okay, here we go. And another question I have for you first, Sergeant, is what are some of the biggest leadership challenges in leading geographically dispersed recruiting team? Because I believe that's what you guys are doing right now, right?
Yes. I would say finding opportunities for us to come together in person, um,
Mhm.
with the restraints on, budgeting and all those things. But so we just make more of an effort to plan out and to do things virtually that we can. We have virtual
Yes.
meetings so that we can, with our leadership within the company, so that we can have, weekly FaceTime with them. The commander and I, we also make sure to get out to our stations. We have stations throughout the DMV and West
Mhm.
Virginia. So we make a point to get out to
Wow.
our stations at least twice a quarter so that we can spend time with the soldiers, do some type of training and development with them,
Mhm.
and just check on their well-being and see how they're doing.
And by the way, when you say DMV, you're talking about DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Yes,
For my
yes,
California friend, they're gonna think it's the Department of Motor Vehicle, which
right,
it isn't.
yes.
And working with people like that, dispersed throughout, how do you maintain then cohesion, morale, and accountability?
Right. So yes, like I mentioned, we have our, we do weekly meetings. So we come together for that. And then we have opportunities where we can get together and for company training. So we try to plan that out so that we, can get everybody together. Um,
Yes.
yes.
But really, the work you guys do as a recruiter, I mean, it is so critical because without you, we don't have a future army, we don't have a future Navy. So while you are leading talent acquisition across multi-state market, what kind of leadership lessons come from recruiting America's next generation of soldiers?
I would say what comes to mind is resilience,
Mm,
resiliency. Because, in recruiting, you get a lot of, sometimes you get no's, you get told no.
yes.
So you have to be able to bounce back from that no,
Hmm.
and keep going, and to stay motivated.
Hmm. So, how do great recruiters and leaders you think what do they have in common? What makes you successful as a recruiter?
I would say again, resiliency, having a resilient personality and not giving up. Um, yes, and staying and maintaining, being optimistic for sure.
Hmm. So, as a recruiter, you definitely help with getting people on board, getting them recruited. What about retention? How do you balance your mission pressure with people sustainability?
So I make sure that I set certain standards that I communicated and that everyone understands. There's a shared understanding of what's needed, what's required. So communication is key. I'll say when it comes to that, I just make sure I communicate with my subordinates and make sure they understand, to communicate, and it's
Mhm.
open communication.
Very good. Are there any trends in recruiting that you see that leaders should really adapt to when it comes to recruiting?
Um, I
For
would
example,
definitely
there were, oh, sorry.
go ahead. I would definitely say, AI, use the use of AI,
Hmm.
getting to that and using that to just help with, precision and what you're looking for. Definitely take advantage of that.
Now, from my point of view, I remember when I joined the Navy, there were quite a few people. Now, I am a Gen Xers, and our kids are pretty much out of shape. At least a lot of them are. They just couch potato playing games all day. They don't exercise. They don't go out, and many of them are quite obese. And the other thing I've also noticed is many of American kids no longer are interested in doing science or technology, engineering,
Mm.
or math, which I think is a national security issue. Is there anything like that that you see with the pool of the people you have to recruit from to build the next generation of the army, and anything you believe we as a society maybe need to do different?
Um, no. So the pool of people that we recruit from, they're medical professionals. So
Hmm.
they're meeting that, they're in that STEM role. But
Yes.
yeah, so yeah, but I would say just continuing to expose kids to those STEM programs, and letting them see how fun it can be and let them see themselves in those
Mm.
programs.
Wow, powerful. And like we mentioned in the intro, you are also the CEO of your own coaching business, which you're just taking off the ground. But how does military leadership philosophy kind of translate into executive coaching?
So we it translates. We have a lot of, when we look at organizations, a lot of organizations lack structure,
Hmm.
or leader training and development. And so the goal with, Legacy Vanguard Scott Group is just that. A lot of leaders, they lack that, managers. And so we just want to empower leaders and provide them with coaching and consulting and
Hmm.
training and leader development, because a lot of organizations lack that, and we see that as a need.
Wow. Powerful. Another member of, oh, actually, the same one. Daniel says, first, Sergeant Fort Bragg's story is the ultimate return on failure. I just stepped out of John Maxwell leadership session discussing exactly that. And transition is the invisible infrastructure. Well, thanks for sharing, Daniel. I guess the other question I have for you is about trust, right? Because I think ultimately, when you are a leader, you need to trust your people and your people need to trust you. Otherwise, you can't really lead, at least not effectively. How do you build trust quickly when entering a new command or organization, which I guess you have done recently? So you've got a brand new team, new people you have to lead. What do you do to make sure you establish that trust as quickly as you can?
I think transparency, definitely, and just communicating, my expectations, and having welcoming feedback, letting them know that, I'm open to any ideas,
Mhm.
that I may not know everything, but I'm
Yes.
open to learn. So definitely having that type of attitude and just being transparent.
Wow. Now, one more question I want to ask you before we go into our last segment is, when I was a CEO, a commanding officer, I felt like really I had two things to do. One was to create an environment where my people would want to be there, and then once they got there, to do the very, very best work they could. So, as a first sergeant in the army, how do you create a culture where your people want to actually show up and not just have to?
So again, I welcome feedback. I, solicit ideas and feedback from
Hmm.
the leaders within the company of like what would they like to see for training and leader development? What are some things that they would like that they want to train on? We try to create some fun activities as a company. We do events with the soldiers in the companies, and a lot of our subordinates, our stations, they have the autonomy,
Mm-hmm.
to control their schedule. So we're kind of lenient on that with letting them control their schedule, and they have the autonomy to manage their stations as they see fit, within reason, obviously.
Yes.
But I think that gives them a lot of flexibility, and we make sure that they understand like that their families are important. If they have things that they need to take care of, just let us know.
Yes.
And we're very flexible with them on that. And we feel that as long as that is taken care of, that everything else will fall into place.
That is powerful. So for the last segment, I think we have about 20 minutes left. I want to ask you, what do you believe is the greatest lesson you have ever learned? Whether it's not in life, in general, in leadership. Greatest lesson you've learned so far?
Um, I would say the greatest lesson that I've learned is to never give up.
Never give up.
To
Wow.
always try no matter what. And even if I fail, that to see that I changed my perspective on failure. Failure
Hmm.
isn't necessarily a bad thing. Failure just means maybe I need to pivot, or maybe
Yes.
I need to do something different. And learn from failure.
Yes. Wow. That is powerful. That's usually a question I ask. So thank you for already answering that. And I like to show this con I have. One of my CEO gave it to me. One side says success, the other side says failure. So
Yes.
two sides of a very same coin. And what she was telling us is for you to succeed, you probably
Yep.
will have to fail
Yeah.
because failure is really a path to success. It just depends on how you look at it. Is there
Right.
maybe an experience you are willing to share that you really learned from and help you with your growth and becoming the leader you are today?
I would say, so airborne school.
Hmm?
So airborne school is a 3-week course
Wow.
out of Fort Benning, Georgia, and it took me 4 weeks to graduate airborne school
Hmm.
because I, failed the 3rd week because I did not, I wouldn't jump from the tower, and
So jumping out of a
yes.
plane.
Yes,
Wow.
so I had to jump. We had to jump from a tower. It was Tower Week, and so to complete that week, we had to jump out
That
of
must be
tower.
scary. Wow.
Yes, and it was, and it was, and but I was determined to make it through. I had some good black hat instructors. My instructors,
Wow.
they worked with me. They pushed me, and they didn't let me, give up.
Hmm.
And so I went through the Tower Week again, and I made it through. And I jumped
Wow.
out, I jumped out of the airplane and I graduated airborne school. But that was
Congratulations.
thank you.
Wow. No, I
But
don't think I can do that.
yeah,
I don't know. Most blacks I know don't jump out of perfectly good airplanes. No, if
yeah,
there is some type of mechanical trouble or something, you have to, or you're gonna die. Yeah, but wow, congratulations. That must have been really really scary.
it was, but it was me conquering that. I wouldn't call it a fear, but me
Hmm.
conquering that um really kind of set the pace for
Yes.
letting me know that I can do whatever I set my mind to.
Wow,
So
that's
that
powerful.
always reinforces that to me. Like I've been here before.
Yes.
I've made it through before. I can get through this.
Wow.
Oh,
Congratulations again, because that's something I will never, never do, at least not voluntarily. Sometimes you get voluntold in the Navy, but wow, that is quite powerful. But why do you think you are so successful? So you came in as a private, now you are a first sergeant, senior enlisted leader. Why? And then you've also just started your own executive coaching business. Why? Why are you so successful, you think? What's the
I
secret to your
think
success?
I think it's my parents instilled in me at a young age the importance of education, and
Hmm.
the benefits of hard work, and just striving for excellence in everything that I do. Um,
Yes.
and so that's something that's always stayed with me in everything that I've done. Um,
Mm,
and I always set goals for myself. Every year I set goals for myself. I'm always
yes.
challenging myself. I'm looking for the next thing to do. Um,
Yes.
I surprised myself by, becoming an entrepreneur because that
Yes.
wasn't something that I thought I would want to do. But
Hmm.
yeah, I was like, why not?
Wow.
It's a
That is
challenge.
powerful.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Because one of my mentor, Brian Tracy, he taught us that only about 3% of people actually write their goal. They set goals. And if you don't set goals, for sure, you're not going to end up where you think you might end up. But if just the fact of just writing it down, it takes it
Yes.
from your mind to a physical thing with a piece of paper or your computer or whatever it might be. And you are more likely to accomplish that, which is quite powerful. Wow. So, what are you learning these days? I know leaders are learner. What kind of things you have been getting into lately?
So learning how to be a business owner. So
Yes.
this is in this season that I'm in. I'm learning how to be a business owner. I'm learning how to be a leader because I'm
Yes.
currently, in this leadership role. So I'm
Hmm.
constantly learning every day, um, what to do, what not to do.
Yes.
So I would say I'm actively learning how to be a leader, and how to be a business owner, and I will soon be going to be certified as a coach to get certified
Wow.
as a coach. So
Congratulations.
I'm going to be starting that in the next couple of months.
Wow. Who are some of your thought leaders, people you follow that we should follow as well?
So who do I follow? Like, I would say, um, the Maxwell Leadership Podcast.
Hmm.
Um, and I really like, Joyce Myers.
Yes.
I like
No,
her, Talk It Out podcast. So I listen to that a lot.
very good.
Um, but yeah, so I would say those are the two.
Outstanding. And if you could choose three people to have dinner with, right? They could be alive, dead, or even fictitious characters. Who would you choose and why?
I would say Michelle Obama because she
Hmm.
was,
I think she's right
first
over
lady.
there. Yeah. Forever
um,
First Lady.
yes, and I just
Uma.
have a lot of questions. I would have a lot of questions like, what was it like, to be the first lady, and
Hmm.
you know, just all the all the things, and
Yes.
then I think after that it will be Beyonce because it's
Queen
Beyonce.
Bee, right?
But I just like the way she carries herself, and her work ethic,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's just amazing to see.
One more.
And one more. Um, hmm, hmm. I would say another person. I would say Sarah Jakes.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I would say her.
Yes,
Um,
she's the daughter of Bishop T.D. Jakes, right?
yes, the daughter of Bishop T.D. Jakes. I really like her. I follow her, and I've read a few of her books.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, she inspires me a lot. And I feel like
Wonderful.
I relate to her in a lot of ways. So yeah, her.
And actually, before I ask you about a couple of books that you recommend, you said this one was one of your favorite quotes. Knowledge isn't
Yes.
power, applied knowledge is power. What does that mean to you?
So it means nothing to get knowledge if we don't apply it. So,
Mm,
my parents always told me that about knowledge, about getting
Yes.
knowledge and applying the knowledge. Like, it means nothing if I know everything if I don't apply.
Yes.
So, but also the power that comes. There is power in knowledge,
Hmm.
which is why I'm always seeking it. I'm always trying to learn things
Yes.
and learn how to be better because I feel it does empower me when,
Mm,
the
powerful.
more I learn, I feel more empowered. So yes.
That's really powerful because I know in the Bible it says, "No, you shall know the truth shall set you free." But it's really the truth that you know and the truth that you apply. Because if you don't
Yeah.
apply it, like you say, there is absolutely no power to it. Wow. So let's talk about some of the books you recommend. So you recommended that my audience read this one. Great, "The Power of Passion and Perseverance" by Angela Duckworth. Why is this book one that we should read?
So this is a good book that I believe my commander, she recommended it. And when I listened to the podcast and she recommended it, I was like,
Yes.
oh, check this out. And so so I'm an Audible
Yes.
person. I listen to books because I'm so busy. So yeah,
Yes.
it's just easier for me to listen. But I like
Yeah.
that the book is really good. It talks about, you know, what do you have in you? What is your grit?
Hmm.
Do you have that? It's nothing to just say you're talented, but do you have, you know, are you willing to go the extra mile and put
Yes.
the effort into it?
No, that is wonderful. I follow her on LinkedIn. I know she has a bunch of TEDx talk as well. Actually, she lives here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm trying to get her on the show, but maybe I will be successful this year. What about this one? "The Five Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace" by Gary Chapman.
Yeah, so I read this book when I was in my master's program, The Five Languages of Appreciation, and it was really eye-opening to me because I was like, wow.
Mm,
Um and it's a part of like my leadership philosophy. And I believe it that, if we that it's important that we focus on how others want to be appreciated. Not everyone wants to be
mhm.
appreciated the same way. So I think it's a
True.
good book for leaders to read. And I actually did like a leader development training with my the leaders in the company,
Mhm.
um, so that they could talk about it. We could have a group discussion about
Yes.
it so that they can understand, the languages of workplace appreciation, and
Mm,
they could be cognizant of their subordinates and what do they need from them and how do they like to be appreciated.
yes.
So
Wow, that's powerful. And I think it works not just at work, but at home also with your spouse, your significant other, or your
right.
children. It's quite powerful. And then one more book, "I Will Teach You to Be Rich" by Ramit Sethi.
So this book was recommended to me by my battalion commander. And so I decided to listen to it. But again, me and my thirst for knowledge, I'm like, if
Yes.
I can learn it, if I can learn it, you know, I can do better. If I want to do
Yes.
something, I just need to go figure out how to do it, read a book about
Yes.
it, and I can do it. So
Wow.
and I'm very my how I handle my finances and things like that is important to me. And so I'm like,
Hmm.
why not? So it was some really good tips and tools in that book about, handling finances and, some practical tips
Mm,
and things that you could do to just be, more financially stable. And I
yes.
think it's important that we that financial literacy that others are that they talk about that and that they learn about it.
Yes. But really, I think we do take a lot of things for granted. In my house, I am the only male here if it wasn't for our dog, a wife and two daughters. But there was a time in America not too long ago where women couldn't even have a checking account by themselves. They had to have a man in order to do that. So I definitely believe in being financially literate and
Yeah.
empowered, especially as a woman in this country. It's quite amazing how much changes have come like in the last I don't know 80 years or so. But Is there maybe like a song or a book or even a movie that would be your life's theme or anthem? And if yes, which one?
A song or a book?
Or a movie?
Mm, I would say it's. Oh, I don't know. I didn't think about this. Wow, this one is
If nothing comes to mind, that is okay.
yeah,
And
nothing comes to
okay,
mind.
because for me, for example, I've been playing the piano since I was 7 years old. Music is really a part of everything I do. Some certain song I hear them, they take me back to a very specific
Yeah.
place in my life, and there are things that inspire me and motivate me quite a lot. Like sometimes I don't really want to work out, but then I will listen to specific music, and then I will get the courage, and I will be motivated to do something. But
Yes.
uh, okay, very good. That's good. That's good. Good enough. All right. So let's see. Let's say that you had one and only one day to live. What would you have liked your final contribution to be?
Um, to have inspired someone to be better.
Yes. Powerful. And if you had a magic wand, you could solve any problem at all. What is the one problem you would like to solve first thing tomorrow morning?
Um, let's see the one problem. So many. Um, I would say people who are unhoused,
Yes.
something, because I don't think that that should be an issue that we should have.
Yes.
Um, so definitely that.
Yeah, especially living in the most in the wealthiest right country in the
Right.
history of the world. Even here in California, if it was its own state, it'd probably be the sixth economic power in the world. But even here in Silicon Valley, we have people who are unhoused, and it really breaks my heart. And some of them are veterans too. And I believe our governor spent almost $25 billion to try to solve this problem, but I don't see much
Yeah.
of a change. It's a very difficult problem to solve, but yeah. Thanks for sharing that. So we are coming to the end of the program. So that's where I ask you, what can we do to add value back to you?
So yes, I would say connect with me on LinkedIn, and check out our website at legacyvanguardscottgroup.com.
Mhm. Very good. And one of the most important questions I ask is if you could go back, uh, what advice would you give to the 17-year-old version of yourself? No, knowing everything you've gone through and the incredible career you've had in the army, what would you say to 17-year-old Kenitra?
Um, I would say um, that it's all going to work out in the end.
Mm,
Um,
so, no,
yes,
powerful.
that it's all going to work out in the end.
Powerful. Wow. Very encouraging. So before we end, I'm going to end with a lightning round. So rapid fire. You don't take too long to think. Just give me the first thing that pops in your mind. Before I do that, is there a question I should have asked you, First Sergeant, that I didn't get the chance to ask? Anything else you wanted to share?
No, I think you covered it all.
Fantastic. So we're going to be done in a couple of minutes. Before we do so, really quickly, one word that defines great leadership. One word.
Self-awareness.
Okay. What is a morning routine or practice that keeps you grounded?
Praying.
Okay. A book or a quote that changed your life.
Apply knowledge is power.
Okay. Who inspired you most today?
Ooh, my husband.
Very good. And I believe I took the time. This is a picture of you and your dear husband. Here we go. And he's also your partner at your new firm,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That is really wonderful. And he is also a retired
Yes.
Army soldier. That's just incredible. All right. So, what is a leadership habit you refuse to compromise on?
Mm. Communicating, and
Mm,
keeping the lines of communication open between me and my
okay.
support. Yes.
And what is a question every leader should ask frequently?
Um, what do you need
What
from me?
question?
What do you
What you
need
need from
from me?
me?
Yes.
Powerful. Okay. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
I wanted to be a hairdresser.
Wow. Okay. Military is far away from that. Okay. Very good. So, what are three adjectives describing you as a child?
Um, was quiet. Oh, I was probably shy and
Okay. One more.
um
Quiet, shy, obnoxious, maybe.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
yeah, probably a little rebellious maybe.
Okay. What about as an adult?
um Now I would say focused, optimistic, and determined.
Very good. All right. This is going to be the last two questions. What is, because I want to end on a positive note, what is one thing you are feeling optimistic about these days?
I am feeling optimistic about what's next for me.
Very good. So it looks like already 20 years in the army, so you might be retiring soon and probably
Yes,
focusing on your business. Or
yes,
wonderful. That is wonderful. I think 2026 is going to be a great year. I believe I already feel it in my bonds. And 2025 was a very bad year for a lot of people, but I think things are going to turn around
yes.
this year. Okay, the very last question I have actually before I do, let's see. Daniel comes back and says, "Never give up is an invisible infrastructure that keeps the blueprint alive when weather is rough. Barnes and Noble account is life integrity." Okay, yeah, never give up. That is powerful and very inspirational. So the very last question, and this is it: what is one word that represents our shared experience on this podcast today?
Um, I would say interesting. It's been an exciting experience.
I believe interesting is probably one of your favorite words.
Yeah,
I think you've said it
interesting.
at least a dozen times during this interview. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that. First, Sergeant Kenitra Scott, everyone, and for me, it's always grateful. I'm so grateful you are here and for being one of our master's teachers today. So really appreciate all of your work and
Thank
all of
you.
your service
Thank you so
to our
much.
country. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye for now. All right. I know our first sergeant has to go. She has another meeting. Hopefully, I didn't keep her too long. But for everybody else, please follow her. She's on LinkedIn. And also follow the website to her new business as well. So that's LinkedIn in Kenitra Scott. And then legacyvanguardscott.com. All right. So for everybody else, this is the only interview I had for today. However, I know I am falling behind. I was supposed to do the AI review of the book of Proverbs. We started that in January for all of the 31 days in January. We read one chapter until the end of January. So now I'm going back and doing the artificial intelligence recap. So I am going to come back today. I'm going to do this today. I thought I was going to do it tomorrow, but I think I have to go back to Proverbs chapter 16. So we're going to do 16, 17, and 18 and 20. So that's going to be almost 4 hours of content later today, probably in about a couple of hours. I'm just going to do them back to back to back to back to back. And I think because everybody has heard Jesse Jackson passed away 2 days ago, I want to do a special podcast about the life and legacy of Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. I think he has really been tremendous. He has done a lot of good things for this nation, trying to, again, Martin Luther King dream of really having America be one nation under God, where all people, including blacks and women and everybody else, have civil rights and justice. And I think that is the America I was willing to die for. Why I joined, part of the reason why I joined the Navy, and I want to celebrate the life of that man. So I'm gonna do that today as well. So I'm just gonna make it happen. Okay, and I'm going to be back. I will have more interviews tomorrow and Friday, and I will let you know on LinkedIn who those great people are. I also got another confirmation. A three-star admiral is going to be speaking to us next week. So I am really excited about all of the interviews that are being confirmed as we speak right now. And again, great thanks to First Sergeant Kenitra Scott, and I am really grateful for everything she's taught us today. All right, until later today, and then for those who join us tomorrow, goodbye for now. Have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If today's episode added value to your leadership journey, be sure to subscribe, share, and join us again for more wisdom nuggets on how to lead better and achieve greater success. Remember, leadership is the most critical skill of our time. The world will always need leaders to inspire others, drive innovation, and execute meaningful strategy. So why not count yourself among the bold leaders shaping the 21st century? Until next time, stay inspired, stay committed, and keep leading with excellence.